Hello again and welcome again to my channel, and today we're going to be doing something less technical, maybe a little bit more nostalgic. I want to talk about Studer A810. Everybody knows this model, so here's my little story. Like any other reel-to-reel enthusiast, I've been dreaming about Studer in general, any Studer for that matter, or A810, for example. You know, A810 has not been considered the professional Studer. People at studios generally considered it Studer light, not suitable for serious studio work. It was always supposed to be on a go, in the broadcasting, that kind of stuff. But be it as it may, it's a beautiful machine. It's one of the most beautiful Studers. It's a very nice package, size-wise, performance-wise, features, capabilities. It's pretty much an unmatched standard for any other high-end tape machine in the marketplace. So for a number of years I've been dreaming about that machine, and one day I decided finally it was good time to pull the trigger. I kept searching all over the internet, and I think I found a very suitable deal. The machine looked very good and the price was reasonable. So I contacted the owner and we made the deal with my wife's blessing, of course. And next day, with money in my hand, I got in my car and drove for 2.5 hours to this place where this Studer resided. It was not possible not to fall in love with it. It was a gorgeous machine, very clean, pretty much mint condition, something you don't see all that often. And the price, like I said, was right. So I got the machine, but before I headed out, we had some discussions and they showed me other machines they had for sale. And there was another 810 sitting there, not in as good condition. So anyway, I took off with the machine number one, and 2.5 hours later I was at home. So I just started telling my wife the story about that particular place and the machine they had and so on. I mentioned that they had another Studer there as well, and her reaction surprised me. She said, "So why didn't you buy it?" I said, "What?" She said, "It was there. You were already there. You should have bought it." Okay, I didn't quite expect that. But she continued, "So tomorrow morning, go to the bank, get the money, and go and bring home that other machine too." Sounds wonderful. I got on the phone with the owner, and we agreed on the deal. And next morning, sure enough, I couldn't wait for the bank to open. I got my money. Of course, they had to question me. Am I buying a car? Am I buying an apartment? I kind of felt silly telling them I'm buying a tape recorder. But that was fine. They gave me the money and I was off to the road. So 2.5 hours later, I was already looking at that second machine. It was in slightly more worn out state, nothing serious, mind you. It was still very, very clean, but you could see it has seems a little bit more use. But when I started trying it, I discovered a very serious defect. The machine would not rewind. It would play nicely and it would fast forward, no problem, but it just would not rewind. Now, at this point, I didn't know much about the internal structure of the machine, so it was not possible for me to figure out how much it would cost to repair. But I wanted the machine, so we discussed the price, and I got some price reduction, and I took it home. Few days later, I decided to look at that machine and figure out what was wrong with that. And I discovered a very simple problem. Apparently, a very well-known repair shop worked on that machine just before it was put up for sale, and they simply installed the brake incorrectly. So the brake tape was preventing the machine from rewinding. And the fix was ridiculously simple. You just had to move the tape slightly, fasten the screw, and it started working like a charm. So at that point, I had two machines in my office, and I started using them just for some background stuff. And sure enough, in few days, the machine number 2 blew heavy smoke. People got concerned, I turned it off, and yes, there was that typical reefer stuff. The machine has never been recapped. And one of the reefers created this particular problem, which is normally just a crack into the body, a lot of smoke, but not much damage. It was easy to repair, and of course we did change reefers on the first machine as well. I decided not to do any additional recapping at this point. I'm generally very reluctant to recap the machines just because you can. So eventually both of those machines made it home to my home system, and I decided to allocate the second one to direct output working with the head preamp as one of the main play systems. So I had to go inside and modify it slightly, which was no big deal, and I was quite happy with the result. That machine worked in that capacity for quite some time. But the first one remained in its originally untouched, except for the reefers condition. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that from time to time, I'm prone to drop in some critical statements regarding the Studer sound. And that concern is still there, it has not gone away. So I never played the machine number 1 directly connected to my system, just straight through its internal electronics, for this fear, because my first experience left me fairly cool. I felt the sound was a little bit wailed, didn't have enough resolution and clarity of something I was getting from other machines or when playing through my tape preamps. So for years, that machine's been sitting in my storage room. And mind you, it's not some dirty storage room. No, it's just it's a very clean environment, temperature controlled, climate control, all that. So it was sitting there, enjoying quiet life. But 2 days ago, I decided to try it again. You know, something else happened along the way. Between the two machines, this one had the standard output cards, and the machine number 2 that was used with the head preamp had transformerless cards. And as you probably know, a lot of people consider the transformerless cards superior in terms of their sound. So I decided, why not? I moved the cards from machine number 2 into this super mint number 1. And that's what we're going to be listening today, this machine playing through transformerless output cards. And I have to tell you, I got involved in the sound right away. I can say I loved it. It was different from what I was getting from my other systems, but it was a gorgeous sound nonetheless. And yes, it lacked a little bit in the area of top-end resolution. I could hear a little bit less echo and reverberation to the cymbals, for example, but it's still gorgeous sound. And I have to say, its mid frequencies are gorgeous. There is some particular aspect to those frequencies that's very, very captivating. So that's what we have today. This machine, I think, is going to stay here in the system for a while. It's that good. It's all tuned. It's precisely calibrated. I did it myself, obviously. And it's ready to roll. Its performance is simply perfect. All the buttons, all the functions, everything on that machine works incredibly smoothly, just like your Studer is supposed to work. So I'm very happy with this machine. So I think I will be playing it a little bit more. Today we're going to play a selection from this particular recording. I'm sure you know the company. And take my word for it. If you just want to have one tape from IPI, get this one. It is that good. It is simply an incredible recording. Jonathan has outdone himself here. And all the players are simply superb. So you can say I'm revisiting my previous love for the Studers. And you know, I have 3 other Studers as well. So it probably makes sense to do it at this point. And I invite you to join me in this particular experience. So please listen to this gorgeous piece. As I usually do, I place my recording device into the sweet spot, so hopefully you get very good sound. And please enjoy. And if you have a chance, stop by again. Hope to see you. Let's play music.